Have you ever wondered what it's like to grow up in the 80s? NES sitcoms and where's the beef ladies? Then you need to listen in your car or at work. Now it's time for Keith is a Jerk. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Keith is a Jerk. I am joined today by my co-host, Bobby. What's going on, Bobby?
Hello.
We got Dave chiming in. What did you say, Dave?
Yeah.
And the Paula Poundstone of male comedians, Ryan LeClaire, everybody.
Yo to the yo.
There it is. He's good Lord.
Yeah.
If anybody was leaving comments, they would be about how it's time to fire Ryan.
They're just leaving. They're just leaving.
So today we are talking about theme parks. Bobby, what about you? What were you? Big theme park family, or what was your story?
Yeah, we went to a lot of theme parks as kids. I mean, to Disneyland, the one that's the one in Florida, right?
Disney World.
That's Disney World, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been to the World, haven't been to the land.
Yeah, Disney World was like always the elusive like fruit that was dangled over our heads.
I was gonna say, as much as you bitch about being poor as a kid, I never got.
No, I didn't go.
No,
yeah, you let me finish.
Okay.
Much like my parents, I'm just holding it out there as if it's gonna happen.
It was dangled, yeah, absolutely. Just like, hey, you tell you what, you don't finish your dinner, you're not going to Disney World with us next year.
And that's exactly so. And here, look, I fully admit that my parents wanted to take us. There's no doubt in my mind because it wasn't even so much a punishment. I still remember, like, when I was a little kid, my dad would be tucking us in, and under the rye, you could smell that he'd be like, and this summer, guys, we're going to Disney World. Like, he'd had it in, like, here's the difference of being a 17-year-old dad and being a 30-year-old dad. I probably would have made the exact same mistakes at 17, right? Like, that's not on him.
Don't
He's
set the
fucking
bar
17.
too high
He
for
wants
the
to go to Disneyland. He's still a kid. He's excited still.
He can still get the youth rate at admission. Like, yeah.
But now I know, look, like my wife and I would talk about it and we're like, yeah, okay, let's take him. We don't say anything until the day before. Cause I remember she was like, should we tell him? I was like, no, you shouldn't. Because I got told every day since I was about 4, and we went finally when I turned 18. It didn't have as much magic.
You were smoking at the time, outside of the gates.
And I do remember
my own way.
It was during one of their record hot years too. Like the temperature got up to like 110 in Florida. Like I remember walking around, everybody was topless. Just walking around. Yeah, it wasn't fun. And it was great because we finally got there, right? But yeah,
16 years to build up the promise. Thanks,
holy
man.
shit! That was my thing. I was like, why don't you just learn? Just stop saying it.
Because every night you'd go to sleep and like he would leave your room being like, all right, they believe in me. I'm not shitty. Like that was his thing. 100%. It wasn't for you guys. It was just to gratify himself.
That's how he wakes up the next day.
Yeah. So
what I mean? That's how he doesn't kill himself.
Quest to Disney World begins now. It begins anew.
I'm getting my fucking kids to Disneyland. God damn it, we're going.
On average, how many drinks did it take to him to get to the empty promises?
I'm actually finishing my drink right now, and I've already promised my kids that we're going to Disney World. That's a new thing we're doing. So this story is actually hitting a little too close to home for me.
What I will say, I do remember being very young, and I think I'd probably complained about it so many times that my parents told us we were going to Disney World, and they took me through a car wash. And I thought for the longest time that a car wash, the drive-through ones that they just put on the rails, was Disney World.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. You have no idea how hard I got laughed at when I brought that story to school.
Dude, I'm not laughing. That's the saddest fucking thing I've ever heard.
I think they were just joking. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even think my parents were trying to con me. I was like, what is this? And they're like, yeah, it's Disneyland, you idiot. You know what I mean? And I was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
You guys love all the pink soap at Disneyland?
I was like, I don't know which white trash character this is at the end who's like wiping off the car, but
it's the 8th dwarf wipey.
Oh God! If he was a little person, I would have been like, "This is perfect. I'm never leaving." I would have been like, "Again, let's go." So yeah, that was whatever, right? It's Disney. What about you, Davey? Did you ever go to Disney World or?
Oh yeah, we go to Epcot and go see Captain EO.
Oh my God!
Did anybody go see Captain EO when they were there?
That's the 4D one, right? Where the hand comes out and touches your dick.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, that's an insane little trip. I didn't go on that until way later. Like, when I was with my kids, which is on me. What am I doing taking my kids to a Michael Jackson? Yeah, it was still there like a while ago. Like they only just took it down like recently, or they brought it back.
Really?
So they took it down after he was like, everybody was like, yeah, I think that dude's touching kids, which shouldn't have shocked anyone.
Or dropping babies off his mouth, yeah.
Yeah, and then I think he died, and everybody's like, oh, what a hero, and put it back up. Like, get rid of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and throw fucking, Diddle-eo or whatever it is up there.
They sell his like magic milk outside the Catholic EO now.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing. The most fun we had, honestly, I remember driving a lot. It sucked. It was hot as balls too. But we went to this little off the road place just by our hotel that was kind of like a fun museum, and they had a maze of mirrors. And so Chris and I, we're kind of stupid, right? And like the kid at the front's gonna like starts laughing, like, "Yeah, you'll find your way out eventually." I
can't think of a worse place for a fat little self-conscious body of Dave Thompson looking in a maze full of mirrors.
He gets one glimpse of gold, Dave, in that one mirror at the end.
My cousin was not in good shape either, so at least I wasn't alone on the journey of self-deprecation. And we're just like, him and I started crying. We got so angry and upset we could not find our way out. Like, we're running into each other, we're running into the fucking reflections of each other. It was a mess, and we were the only ones there. And we're like started screaming for our moms, and like we knew they were like two doors or whatever it was away, so like they're not hearing us. And
no, they're dropping the drugs off to the people they have to deliver them to.
And this dude left us in there for like 20 minutes upset.
It's amazing.
And I think he might have been out for a smoke or whatnot, and finally like we found our way out to like the beginning. He's like, what do you do? Like, how do you get to the other side? And our mom's waiting on the other side. He's like, dude, you just leave your hand on the right side of the wall. And like, but I'm really happy there's not a videotape of the two fatties just bouncing off each other, crying like little schoolgirls.
I will 100% fund the trip if you would like to go back
and recreate.
Let's go right now.
Yeah, I could do it.
All four of us under this maze of mirrors.
GoPros.
Oh my goodness.
It was a lot of fun. Once we got through, we're like, yeah, let's go do that again.
Yeah, of course.
We were stupid.
Yeah, well, we all are. You're just kids, and it's a different. Nobody gives a shit back then. So you got 20 minutes in there. That's nothing.
Yeah.
2 minutes now, everybody be losing their minds.
Oh, I know.
Hey, yeah. Dave, speaking about your Donald Duck hat, I had, do you guys remember, my parents bought me a,
oh, I thought you were going to say it was in the bag of hats.
Yeah, the bag of hats story, yeah. It all comes back to fucking hats. I had a figment hat, figment of your imagination. He was this purple dragon.
Yes, my kids
with the orange horns, and so the bill was like probably it was like a foot out.
Right.
The brim of the hat like went a foot out, and then plus the orange horns on it, and I wore that thing everywhere. Like especially not only at Disney World, but when I came back.
Yes,
I wore it everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was such a.
You were the annoying person that comes to your fucking office after like a weeks of Disney, wearing the goddamn Disney jacket and Disney hat. You're like, God damn it, Pam, this is a professional office.
Yeah, exactly.
Take that shit off.
It comes back to me being such an ambiguous little kid, like this like bowl cut bob like mushroom cut thing or whatever, and this stupid purple hat on me or whatever, and these short shorts. And so like, and I remember like having the greatest time at Disney World, and meeting like they had like a robot that was probably just like a midget in a garbage can, but like, and
probably
but
the same one for my car wash.
He was ready for the big show.
I remember this robot wanted me to shake his hand, and he kept on clicking it like, and I wouldn't even go near him. I was like just terrified. I'm still pretty terrified of robots.
Pinchy the robot was a big hit with the kids.
And so like, yeah, and I mean, I thought like we went on this like ferry boat ride,
sure, like
riverboat kind of with all the Disney characters.
With the robot.
No, but like it was like the Disney characters breakfast, and we went and got all these autographs or whatever of all these.
Yeah, no kidding.
Exactly. It cost my parents a fortune or whatever. So, anyways, long story short of this, as I grew up, we had these photo albums. And my mom kept them out, so she put them out. And as I got older, I just realized that in every picture, I'm like just giggling and skipping around the park. I'm like, you guys let me do this? Like, you guys let me grow up like this? Just skipping, like mid-skip.
Like, yeah, you're a prancing fella, Bob.
Your dad's like, well, we didn't let you. You insisted on
Good
it.
Lord.
To be fair, they probably knew it wouldn't last because look at you now. Like, there's no skip in your step right now. So
No.
just like hold on to those, take those mental Polaroids while you can.
Yeah.
That was as full of life as Bob was ever going to be,
Absolutely,
and the game
yeah.
was slowly dropping.
I know it was.
Yeah, they had some shitty things there. I know, like at that time where I went, they had like all the countries set up, and it was like really shit. It was like a
Epcot
little
and
nook
stuff.
and cranny.
Yeah, it's garbage.
Whatever.
As soon as
You know
the
what?
internet came, fuck you.
Yeah, and like you know what though, like to be fair, I've had way better trips up here in Canada and Toronto. Like we're all Ontario boys, so we've probably all been to Canada's Wonderland at least probably 5 to 10
billion
times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I was going to say, that was my birthday present every year. So I used to get my season pass. And did you guys ever spit on the rides as a kid? So I remember my friend, that was his whole like lot in life. Like it was very weird that that's all he wanted to do. You know, like he was like we'd be in the car and be like, okay, so we're gonna hit Dragonfire and we're gonna hit fucking Wildebeest and we're gonna go, you know, like, and he's like, guys, who's gonna spit with me? And we're like,
How has this friend turned out in life?
yeah,
Doesn't
as you
sound
can
like he
imagine,
shot
a
high.
spitter on a ride would.
Okay, good.
Rest in peace. And so I remember it just that, like, literally every other word was just like, when are we gonna, what do you guys want to spit on? And like the order of the way people would sit so that we wouldn't spit on each other. It was very weird.
That sounds weird.
This is the same guy who draws dicks into every room that he walks into.
One of my favorite places to go was Gargamel's Castle.
Yeah, the Smurf
You guys
thing?
remember that thing?
Yeah, that must
great.
have fucked Dave up because there was like there was a mirror section and there was a part where the room got smaller.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
Dave would just feel fatter and fatter as he walked through.
I'm growing. Can't stop eating.
Yeah,
Plumpy
that's
Smurf.
exactly. I loved it.
Oh, what was the room that Boo Boo built that was all lobsided? You guys remember
Well,
that?
that was the same
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Because it was
Yeah.
blue
Yeah.
first, and then it was the Smurf. Yeah, they're not going to build a whole other. They're just going to paint it blue. But yeah, anyway, so the Spitter Kid, we're on the 6th roller coaster, whatever it is, and he's just fucking spitting away, and we get off the ride, and big motherfucker just grabs the back of my shoulder, and he's like, "Hey, you spit on my girlfriend." And we look beside, and she's still wiping this shit off of her face. I am the worst friend in the world. I didn't even hesitate. I didn't try to talk my way around it, or I could have even, as a little kid, just yelled rape or something and probably gotten away with it. No, I grabbed him, threw him at the big guy, and said, "This is the guy who did it. That's all he's been talking about." And then we just and he didn't know what to do though, because he's probably 19, 20.
Yeah.
And we were like 10, right? So he's like, I can't punch this kid in the face. But
that's great.
it was
Good
close.
for you. Fuck that kid.
Yeah, I know. It was. Yeah, I didn't give a shit at the time. I still, even now, I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, no qualms about that one.
No, but not even an attempt. Not even an attempt.
I remember being so duped by my aunt. We went there as a family, and I was a young kid in Hanna-Barbera land.
Same one that took you to the Maze of Mirrors?
Nah, no, different aunt. This one.
You got some shitty ants, bro.
Yeah, no, this one's on my dad's side and was very cold and distant. Anyway, she's
Surprising.
sitting in the car with me, and I remember the car on the rail.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do when I was a kid was learn how to drive a car.
Oh, for sure.
This is like when I was 4 years old, so I was really only 3 years away from my shitty parents teaching me how to drive. Nevertheless,
Well, who's going to
so-
drive home sober?
exactly. So anyway, I'm. This is probably like I remember. I was driving. I was so excited because I'm steering the wheel and like I'm following. She's like, just follow that middle rail right in the middle of the road. You stay right on that. And she told me, and I bought it. I bought it so hard that like I couldn't stop talking about it, to the point where my dad actually said, "Dave, you okay? Like we're all done talking
enough.
about it now. That's enough." But I was
You're
so
16.
stoked about it.
That wasn't your driver's test. Jesus Christ.
No, because I was literally telling my dad, like, I can drive a car. Like, let me drive the car. Like, I'm 5 and trying to convince my dad to let me drive. And
Yeah,
inevitably, he'd have a couple cocktails and I'd get a shot.
Every kid learns how to drive a
sure.
Ford Model T before a motorcycle.
Absolutely. I will say, more of a recent story at Wonderland. They've got, I don't know what the ride is called, but essentially it's one of these ones where you're on like a swing almost, right?
Yep.
But it goes really fucking high.
Really high.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. That's
like
retarded.
stories high, right? Like, whatever. I've been taking ride. I'm not one of those. I don't get scared of heights or anything.
You're on a swing, though. Like
Yes.
a swing, like on a swing
For sure.
set.
You
Like,
are. It feels
you're
very
vulnerable.
free. Yeah, it's vulnerable. So we're waiting in line. Literally, I think it was the second day that it was open. And so we're in line, and they're like, "Oh, we're just doing our tests." And we're like, "Oh, well, is it going to be worth like hanging out? Are we getting?" And they're like, "Yeah. They're going to start it up again. They just want to run some tests." standing in line as they're running the test, the fucking water dummy just smashes down beside us. So they put this like 70, 80, 100 pound, I don't know how big this thing is, but it's like
Weakest link in the chain.
it's like it's the torso of a body filled with water. So not only does this thing come crashing down from 4 stories while we're just having a casual conversation, because it's filled with water, I know what it's like to be next to a suicide jumper because the water splashed on my face.
Was it red water?
It may as well have been. It felt like it was red and it smelled like copper. Because and then the best part is they're like, holy shit, and they start like moving the stuff out. The fucking kid that's working the place opens the chain to like let us on.
Chair just freed up. This one's available.
I was like, that thing has to be like, I was like, that thing's only like 90 pounds. You think I'm going in that?
Yeah, we're all out of dummies.
And the kid's like, oh yeah, maybe. I don't know. Hold on. And then he goes over to the radio. I was like, this isn't a talk through. It's just over, bud. I'm like, you need to get somebody over. I don't think this ride's ready. So yeah, that was a real fucking good time.
That's fucking incredible.
And then I went on the fucking ride because I'm an idiot.
Like amazing.
I was terrified.
Good
I was
for you.
legitimately scared out of my mind. I don't know what the hell
That
I
could
was
just be
thinking.
a marketing ploy. They drop one of those an hour.
It was good because I had shit everywhere.
Yeah, you're a brave kid, man. I was such a puss when it came
Kid,
to
this is like
rides.
5 years ago.
Oh, okay. I remember. I don't know. Do you remember your first like upside down roller coaster? That was always like the rite of passage for.
I got to assume all of us is Dragonfire on that one.
Mine was in Winnipeg at the Red River X.
Oh, were you there for
Winnipeg
a
karate?
for karate meet?
I was upside down playing karate.
I've got a story of my first upside down roller coaster.
Yeah. Go ahead,
so,
please.
So anyway, we went back in the day. I might have been 14 or 15. So it would have been in the 90s. No, so 12 or 13, and we were at Canada's Wonderland, and good friends of my mom and I, we'd come to Barrie, we'd stay at their place, and they had a kid that their nephew played in the NHL for the Leafs, and he was a goalie, and then they had a Russian guy that was on the team that had like no family.
This is a cool roller coaster story.
So you knew him, is
So
what you're saying.
it's all set up. So they decide like one day in the summer, like we're all going to Wonderland together on one of the trips we made down there. Fucking awesome. I'm super stoked. Again, I'm like 12, and I'm lining up back and forth between the Vortex and the Thunder Run. That's all I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And Alex finally pulls me aside, and like right across from the Thunder Run is the Bat.
Right.
the back.
And I don't want to like not seem cool. It's like, listen, we go on the ride. I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't do. I said, David, listen, you hear that? And like the Bat lets loose, and it goes like it's fucking crazy. It goes backwards and up and does double loops
it's
and
great.
whatnot. He's like, you hear that? I'm like, uh-huh. He's like, those are girls on there. And so he pushes me into the line, and I'm sweating and fucking terrified. But that's the story of my what am I going to say to that? That is beyond,
Dracula's telling you to get on the ride.
yeah,
You're gonna go
for like a 12-year-old kid. You can't defy that Russian logic.
I've got 2 haunted house stories. This one was in Niagara Falls. I think the haunted house might even still be there.
Haunted houses. Shit. Yeah. Okay.
I got about halfway through and I was all by myself. And again, we were on vacation. It was like dead, actually. It was the middle of the afternoon. So I'm in there by myself. And I can't remember what it was. I think I just saw a hand around the corner. I just fucking shut down completely. And like I ran out.
You didn't use any of that Winnipeg
And there's,
karate
like,
on him?
No. I was right-handed. And there's like this balcony thing that you cross over that before you go in. And I like go on this balcony and like start yelling at my parents to come get me. And I had the moment, I can't remember how old I was, but I was too old. And I had that moment when I was on the bridge yelling, and I'm like, I showed them my driver's license to get in here. I probably shouldn't be doing this. But they had to send like a guy in to like an employee, like the gate guy, to fucking. And you can imagine the varying response from my parents as I'm yelling at them like a Vita on top of this fucking mouth thing. Like, come get me! My mom is like, oh, pumpkin, and my dad is just stone faced, shaking his head, like too completely.
So much
Just
shame.
swirling his rise. Jesus Christ, Ryan.
That's incredible.
Okay,
Good for
haunted
you.
houses. Any guys go to Center Island? So I've got an amazing haunted house story that will sound insane until I explain it from a kid's point of view.
Okay.
So They had this a haunted house, and my cousin, same thing, right? Was always like, oh, he's like, wait, you're gonna be so scared. And so we go on there, and it's just typical how haunted house shit, just witches turning around, little sound effects. Then we come around this one thing where the door's open, and there's this old guy just jerking off in the corner. And I was like, what?
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. There's like this old dude just jerking off in a corner inside the haunted house. Now, I'd never
You're
been
telling
on
me
this.
they didn't vet these carnies?
This is the best part.
In Bob's
I
family,
didn't
this
know.
would have clearly not
I
flown.
did not know that this wasn't part of the ride.
Oh my God.
I was like, yeah, that's fucking scary. And my cousin, and we start laughing.
That poor guy has to do that all day for every kid that comes
I was like,
in
that's
here.
so weird. Like that's like a deep level of darkness. Now I'm only like 7 or
Go
8
help
at
that
this
guy
time.
out, Keith.
Huh?
Go help that guy out.
So the thing is, he's not really even interested in us. He's just some crazy dude doing his business. And so we go around the ride and we get off and we're laughing because we're just little kids and we think it's funny just seeing this old guy. We just get back in line and go again. Oh. And we're like, I got to see this again. And so
That's horrific.
my instincts isn't I should tell an adult. It isn't I go get my parents and be like, Dad, there's some crazy guy jerking off in there. It's just like, fuck, we got to go again. That was so funny. And so we get there and I still remember we used to always joke around because there's this witch that turned around and it makes this weird sound, goes every time you do it, and that's where this dude was jerking off. So we're like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Ironic choice of words. And we would get there and we pass, and sure enough, he's still going at it second time around. And so we're laughing so hard. And we
Can't
get
pop
off.
until he hears that witch noise.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if you kids would shut the fuck up, he would. Anyway.
Well, look, we're little kids and we're shitty little kids. We're pointing and laughing at them. You know what I mean? Like, we're just making fun of them. And so then we get around again and we get off and we go to run around and there's like a couple people and I can see some woman just yelling at the kid running the thing. And I'm like, yeah, next. And he's like, no, guys, it's not running right now. And we're like, what? And they're like, oh, come on. And we're like, well, just let us go one more time. And I'm like, I don't know if he's still going to keep going. We want to see how long this is going to last. Didn't even tell our parents. So we just like, oh, fuck, that sucks. And then you just go to the octopus after. That was it. Very, very, anticlimactic, so to speak. We're like, yeah, all right, cool. Let's go to the octopus then.
Yeah. And you
Didn't even cross our mind as weird or anything. Just some dude jerking off in a haunted house.
Did this story kind of reveal itself to you in your memory over the last couple of years? Like, maybe I should have told my parents.
Oh, no, definitely. Like as I got older, I was like, yeah, that was pretty messed
stupid.
up. I don't know if
That day
could've been
stands
bad.
out. That day
I don't know if
stands
it
out.
came up until like I think okay, so here's my guess at the timeline. I'm 8 or 9. We go back the next year with my cousins and we're like, oh my god, let's go in the haunted house and see if that dude is jerking off again. And then the next year we're like, oh my god, remember that guy who was jerking off at the you know what I mean? And the following year I was like, I don't think that was okay, guys. Anyway, I watch a lot of witch porn now.
Yeah.
I remember Center Island had didn't they have the scrambler inside a building?
So there you go. That was the octopus. That's what I was talking about. They called it the octopus.
Yeah.
And then they just built a big fucking warehouse around it.
That's right.
Yeah. I
So
totally remember
strange.
that. Guess who
Not
got
safe.
kicked off that ride? Because his fucking friend was spitting. Bob, haunted house?
No real haunted house. Big
I've got
stories.
one more haunted
Yeah,
house
do you?
story, if I may.
Go.
It was at in North Bay where I grew up. We would have a festival, the Heritage Festival, every year, and this was, I guess I would have been like 12, 13 or something like that. And you guys are not going to believe this, I wasn't always this cool. I used to be actually kind of shy.
No shit.
And kind of awkward. I wasn't always this James Dean character you see before you know.
Right.
So I had this friend, a very good
Now I'm
friend of
picturing
mine.
James Dean screaming from the top of the haunted house balcony.
Oh God, somebody coming!
Mommy!
So my friend asked me, he's like, dude, I'm going to meet some girls at the haunted house, or at the Heritage Festival. I don't think he decided the haunted. He's like, you want to come with me? I'm like, yeah. And I don't know if you've ever had this moment when you're a kid. He's like, okay, I can't be seen with you wearing what you're wearing right now. And he dressed me like Pretty Woman style. And I came out. This was, okay, so about 92, 93, and I was just wearing whatever. I was wearing
James
a pair
Dean
of jeans
transformation.
and a Nike Flight t-shirt, whatever it wore.
Oh, my
He was
God.
like the rapper phase was really starting to hit North
Right.
Bay. So he gave me an Oakland A's jersey.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And some really, really baggy jeans.
Did you crisscross it? Did you wear them
No,
backwards?
we talked about it. I swear to God, Dave, like that was the summer.
I don't think we should get past the pretty woman watching you dress scene. Did he play any music while you did it?
He did actually.
Amazing.
So he's now got me dressed.
What
We
I
go to
want,
this.
you got my heart. No, keep going. This is your background while you're doing it. Him
So-
shaking his head no.
No.
He's like, all right, you ready to go see the girls? And I'm like, yeah, totally, because that's something I'm comfortable with completely. These are pit
These are
stains
my
of
clothes.
anticipation, not fear.
Do I have
So
to wear the
he's-
lipstick still?
Stuart, before we get there, am I the girl?
It's hard to get lipstick to match the Oakland A's colors, but we did. So we get there, and he was cool. He had already had like a lot of girlfriends in like grade 8, and like done obviously a lot more than I had at that point. So we go, and he's like we go into this haunted house, and he's got a girl, and I get the friend, and clearly she got me.
Get the friend, like property.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, you talk to her,
She
talk
got
to
you.
Exactly what I'm saying. I get the one with lipstick. Great, this will be fun. So we go in to the haunted house, and I go in first with the girl or whatever. I should remember her name. And then we go out at the end, and it's kind of fun. There's a few startles, and so I didn't freak out this time. So we make it all the way to the end, and they're gone for like, they should be right behind us. There's like 2 to 3 minutes of just no conversation at the end of this haunted house, waiting for my friend and her friend to rematerialize at the end. And he comes out at the end, and he's like, "Oh, hey, cool." And he talks to me, we're walking away. I'm like, "Why are you so long in there?" He's like, "Oh, I fingered her." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, in a haunted house.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, now I know why the old guy was jerking off in there.
Something in the air.
Ugh.
And he's like, and he's looking at me with this face like, "Oh, you didn't?" I'm like, "No, I didn't. Are you kidding me?"
Well, then who was the other hand in there?
What an atrocious term, too. I
know.
fingered her.
Oh, it's the ugliest word in the English language. I love it for that because the impact of saying it is like, "How was your date with Pam last night?" "I fucked her." "Oh, okay, cool. How was your date with Pam?" "I fingered her." "Oh, dude, like what the hell? Like why you tell you? Changes the mood of a room."
It just did.
Anyway,
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure he was full of shit. If I like had like quantum leap ability and like leap back in my body, that's where I'd go.
That's what he'd use it
So I
for,
could call-
folks. Fuck you, 9/11. Stay.
Yeah.
I'm not saving 9/11. I want to watch my buddy if he fingered this girl or not.
I just want to call bullshit.
And I would tell him to get his elbow out of there.
And the worst part is Ryan will eventually come across this, and he'll be able to go back and be like, "Oh shit, he did it."
Do you ever guys do like local fairs?
Oh, yeah.
Like all the stuff that would come
Talking
around.
about fingering, yeah.
Yeah.
We had the Berry Fair.
Sure.
And it was on the and it
Who's
just
the
all
marketing genius that came up with that one?
yeah, right. All the typical rides or whatever, but the Gravitron. Do you guys remember the
Oh my
Gravitron?
God.
Gravitron was
For
incredible.
anyone listening, we live near a town called Barrie. It's not the Berry Fair like fruits and berries,
Yeah, that's right.
or
Thank
like
you.
a Barry
Yeah, yeah.
Manilow awareness fair.
Let's
You're
go
not
to the
traveling
Berry
to this.
Fair. No, it's like the Berry Fair. So we're I think we were in grade 7, grade 8 or so.
Yeah.
And we all get cherry snow cones. We all go on the Gravitron, and the Gravitron is like it's the only good kind of ride there.
Yeah.
So and we're
That
in
and the
grade
zipper.
7, grade 8. We're all thrill seekers, right?
Right.
So we get in line for the Gravitron. We're all on it, and the guy in the middle is like, "Do you want to go faster?" And everybody's like, "Yeah." Right? And all of a sudden, I see my buddy just turn to the side, and he's just projectile vomiting up this cherry snow cone. Right?
And it's the worst.
And so now all of a sudden, all the people who can barely move are now trying to crawl onto my side.
So,
of the
sorry,
ground.
Bob, just to help other people, if you don't know this ride, it literally just spins you
It's
around.
it's a gigantic centrifuge.
You're pinned
Exactly.
by
Yeah.
centrifugal force against
Exactly.
the wall,
And you are
can
fucking
climb the
pinned.
wall
You're
like Spider-Man.
pinned
if
to
you
the
want.
wall.
Yeah,
You can't
Yeah.
you can
Or if
hardly
you're
move.
puking.
So
Yeah.
just
Any liquids that are leaving your
Oh.
body are going directly left. in a very quick hurry and not stopping.
Literally.
Good little side note: the kid who always spit on himself on the Gravitron. Keep going, Bobby.
Everybody was crawling onto my side of
God,
the
that's
Gravitron.
amazing.
Just people are just like climbing over each other just to get away from the puke.
Is he trying to
And the
say
guy in the
sorry
middle
while
is
he's doing
still
it?
yelling, "Do you want to go faster?" And like, one guy, my buddy is just waving his arms like,
No.
I was like, this crowd is fucking dead, man.
"Oh man."
And I love that ride too because it won't as soon as it starts going fast, it's on rails, right? So you kind of slide up to the top.
That's right.
And so I remember as a kid with a long moppy flop of hair, I was sitting there and it got caught in between.
Incredible.
And so it just started, my thing started going up. So I'm turning sideways as this thing's going up because my hair is locked in. Do you want to go faster? I'm bawling my eyes out. And he's like,
Tears are
faster
going
it
everywhere.
is.
The tears are falling down.
KLF is gonna rock you is just spinning on repeat.
Sonny, you're a boy making big noise, man. Good God. Yeah, fuck, I hated that ride. I think that was actually after that, I cut my hair. So thanks, Gravitron. Yeah, the other one. Did you guys go on the zipper? Like, who the fuck thought that going on these rides built by people with grade 4 education was a good idea?
What was the zipper?
The zipper's the one, it was like...
You got to remember, I was the kid, 12 years old, standing on the side, like, I'm doing the Voltron again. Or what the hell? I was not doing the Gravitron. I was like, no, you guys go. I'm gonna hang back. I'll be right with you. Like,
I'm gonna ride
anytime.
on the ladybugs.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing that one dinosaur roller coaster that just goes up and down in a circle.
Yeah, I was
I don't
mommy's
know.
boy.
The spinny strawberries were
my
kind
God.
of
The
hard.
teacups.
Dave's getting fingered in the haunted house.
My dad
Jesus.
didn't have any like other than having a couple stiff cocktails from here to there and punching a couple criminals in the face illegally. Like, my dad didn't really do too many things wrong, but I kind of feel like he had a carnival addiction. I don't know if anybody else's parents felt like that way.
Addiction.
Like when you go, like when we go to Wonderland, I'd go on rides and it's all good, but my dad would always be gone. And then you look over and you'd see him like shooting the fucking water gun at like he would drop close to $400, I think, every time on games and just talk about what a ripoff it was at the end of the game.
Just filling a clown's mouth full of water.
Oh my God.
Those guys
I
are
would hate
fucking
to be-
idiots.
I would hate to be the criminal that got caught by Dave's dad the next day.
Yeah, exactly. Like fucking ripoff. Like I did have a big giant stuffed bear, like one of those beat like a big old brown bear.
Yeah.
For, I love that thing, but like that was the only
Well, it was
thing.
your replacement dad. Of course you did.
Yeah, that's exactly what it did. It cuddled with me. But like anytime a carnival came around too, even when my brother was born, we'd kind of like we went to one just in like the Elmville Fairgrounds, and like we'd want to hit the rides, and Dad's like, yeah, well, why don't you guys play a game or
Amazing.
You know what,
Your dad
I'll
has
try
a
it out.
carny gambling addiction.
He has a carny gambling addiction, absolutely, and he can't leave unless he's got one of the biggest prizes like going, like be it a box of Crunchy Bars or whatever he's getting. He's gonna get a carny prize, or else he's gonna die trying.
Just chuck in rings at a milk jug sprayed with Pam.
100%. Like I remember it. Like
I love that he's spending all his money and just can't figure it out.
yeah, he can't adjust. My dad's never been able to adjust.
Picturing you like walking into the garage one day and he's huddled in the corner shooting at a basketball hoop that's too small.
Yeah, he set up his own his training facility.
That was a good one because my dad fancied himself a basketball player, and he's probably one of the most unorthodox shooters I've ever seen. But sure enough, he would drop at least, I guarantee, it had to be, honestly, every time I saw it. Like, and I only went with him, obviously, a couple times because, you know, I am who I am. But he
You're only invited a few times.
yeah, he probably dropped at least $100 at every time, like just a basketball. You know what I mean? Trying to win the big prize. It's
I love the idea of...
and I've got it too. I've got the itch now too. You know what I mean? Like I see a carny game.
Does not skip a generation.
No,
God.
I got a little bit of it too, and it's
That's
a thing.
great. I love the idea of your dad dressing you up like a clown in the garage and just spraying you with the hose. Open your mouth, Dave. Open your mouth. Carnival's coming in 6 weeks. Got to train up. Yeah, if I filled it with pop, you'd open your mouth, you fatty.
Did you guys ever go to the X?
Not really. No, for whatever reason, like I think it just cost too much.
No,
The
my loser
exhibition,
families went to.
the
yes.
exhibition was the big kind of local Toronto
But it's expensive, right?
one, right? And it was full of food
Yeah.
and bingo.
Right,
I
right. I
remember
don't know how
the
my family
rides
missed
always
that.
sucked.
Oh, you
or
know what?
whatever.
I did go, and it was the year that the Keaton and Nicholson Batman came out, and the big thing that year was the Batmobile was going to be there.
Ah, shit.
And you went and looked at it, and it was pretty much a Chevette dressed up with like little wings out the back, and I'm 8, and I'm like, that's clearly not the Batmobile. Oh, that's the Batmobile.
Nah, that's the Vetmobile.
Did you say? What did you say?
You guys must have gone.
You say Batmobile or Bitmobile? No, yeah, that's
Just
right.
Move along. If you don't want to get fingered, move along.
We always went.
Go meet Michael Keegan now.
We always went on Labor Day weekend, and the big draw to going on Labor Day weekend was the air show. The big draw.
Oh, yeah.
Air show
Yeah,
was
that's true.
always there. So we went for years consecutively, always on air show weekend, and saw all the planes and stuff. And
Yeah.
And then we were there one year where there were two planes flying towards each other, and they crashed.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask. I know that there was one year, and
I
was
was
like, please
there
don't
the year sitting on the beach. And,
yikes.
and the 1 year that the two crashed, and I was so young, I didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But I remember my dad saying, "Oh Jesus," you know what I mean?
Right,
and literally,
right.
we just left the beach. Like we didn't even see, we couldn't see anything. Like the air show just like shut down right there.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
probably
It was
good.
scary, and I didn't go for years and
Fuck
years.
that. The show goes on as far as I'm concerned. I had to haul my ass down to Toronto to see an air show. I want to see some planes keep flying. Fuck that. Keep going, boys.
Dave was the guy who wanted to see the match after Owen Hart.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Is this the darkest one we've done so
Well,
far?
that part is I'm not. It's the whole time Bobby's telling us, I'm not telling a joke here. I'm not trying to cap off on this one.
Hold on, this is a funny podcast? I brought the wrong
today.
stories.
I really thought it was going to be when we came up with theme parks. I'm like, there's going to be some great stories. Nope, just a lot of diddling old men and fucking plane crashes.
Addictions.
Hey, hold on. Now, in fairness, he was just playing with himself. He was not inviting us or trying to touch us in any way.
I think he was.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I probably blocked it out.
yeah.
I'm not going to try and keep finding this memory. What else? Yeah, X. We didn't do the X. It was. I remember it being expensive. I always wanted to go, but it got dangled like Disney World. Well, do you want to go to Disney World? Because we can't go to both. I didn't know both meant neither.
Ugh.
Yeah. Trying to think. The zoo. Does that really count? It's not really a theme park, right?
Ah, totally
Oh,
counts.
totally
Oh, I
counts.
think
It's
so.
a family
Totally, yeah.
outing. It's going to
Yeah, that's
inevitably.
true. That's true.
We were
You're
there
gonna,
almost every 2
eventually a
weeks.
parent's gonna get pissed off with you, or like they're gonna do something that's just gonna make you laugh. And it's gonna be great.
Well, the one thing I don't. This is one of my earliest memories, so I must have only been about 4 or 5. My parents even they don't even try to sugarcoat this story when I asked about it later. So anybody knows the Toronto Zoo? They used to have this monorail that went around. So my whole family's on there, and we're getting off at what other prison? Nobody decided to ask Keith to go. They just time to go, and they just got off. So I'm just sitting there, and I think I'm just staring off at something. And I remember just
how
being
many
on.
Home Alone sequels have you lived through? This is like the third fucking podcast.
So this is, and the funny part is, I don't really notice that my family's, because it's busy, right? Like,
Right.
it's packed. So I'm just looking around. I'm like, "Ooh, fuck, this is busy. God, how far does this place go?" I'm just doing laps of the zoo. So anyway, my parents finally get me off, and it's just like, it was just like nothing happened. Just like, oh, okay. Admittedly, I'm 4. Maybe I only went around twice. Not a big deal. Whatever. Let's just keep going. We're here.
Were your parents more suntanned than when you last saw them?
Oh, I would imagine. Yeah, well, they're baked for sure. Anyway, so my little brother was a baby, in the stroller. And so I remember we were walking along, finishing out the day at the zoo. Anybody who knows this zoo, there's one really big hill.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was walking, I was like, can I push? Can I push? And my parents were like, yeah, whatever. I don't have to do any work. Great. And so 4 years old, and I go, oh my God, look at this hill. Whee! And I just let my brother go. My dad just races down this hill. There's literally a baby in a stroller just flying down. And this isn't the good fucking, what's a good name brand? This is a little umbrella stroller that's probably got 3 wheels. There's like gorillas, Harambees diving out to try and catch my brother. But yeah, nobody goes to the fucking Canadian. Like, you're gonna go out to see cats and dogs?
Well, it's because it's a 3-mile walk to get there.
Yeah, the grizzly bear
to see a moose.
It's now at the bottom of the hill. I think it's called Cooper Kid Hill now.
That's well, it's funny. They've got those footprints. There's actually little wavy stroller patterns that go down that hill.
Yeah, your stroller went through the fresh paint day one.
Oh, amazing.
The glass is still holding on in the big snake exhibit, so get there while you can. We don't got the money to replace it, so make your way now.
You guys ever want to see a monkey smoke?
They got some killer. Like, you want to see a depressed puma? Come
down.
see
the world's saddest lion.
In the back swamp, you can see the mud-covered flamingos. Maybe get a mosquito biter 5.
Oh, the kangaroos that don't jump.
All our animals are acclimatized to -20.
I actually got my first experience with Santa's Village this year, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I got 2 kids. My mom, I love my mother, but when she gets an idea in her head, she won't let it go. So she was insistent that she needed to take my 2- and 4-year-old to a theme park this year. I'm already a miserable cunt, as everybody knows. So
Sounds
like
right.
I'm obviously very much in the spirit of the day. And we get up there, it's a hot July day, and it starts raining. It's like already like my wife is holding on to every bit of positivity she can. She's like, oh, we're having a great time. Like, she's really trying to Ellen Griswold the situation, right? And I'm just like, I'm a pack mule. I've got a diaper bag. I've got the stroller. I've got like a 2-year-old screaming. It's miserable. And so whatever, we got through the first hour and a bit, and like we could barely go anywhere because of the rain. The rain finally stops. We make our ways over. My oldest gets to meet Santa. My 2-year-old is off on an adventure of her own, doing whatever. I'm absolutely having just a miserable thing because I'm like, again, I'm a piece of shit. And finally my wife breaks in. She's like, we are not this is not going right. Like, we'll head home. And my mom kind of puts up the fight, like, let's go eat and whatnot. And so then she's like, we're going to go on a ride. Addie and I, like my oldest daughter, she's like, we're going on a ride. And my mom, like, she's determined now because she's going to show us that this is actually going to be great for the kids. And so finally I'm like, I've taken off the bag and I'm sitting on a picnic table and I look over to see, like, where did they get off to? And I look and I see they're on the other side of this little lake that's in the middle of Santa's Village, and there's a giant swan fin up in the air. And my mom is paddling and she's looking at me. She's like, David! And she starts paddling faster and I can see the little black thing. I'm like, and I start, like, people start gathering, like, beside me because I'm on the edge of the water. So, like, there's people beside me now and they're starting to gather, and these champion gentlemen are starting to, like, to take their shoes off and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm going so slow. I already know what's going to have to happen. I know what this is. And my mom's trying to paddle back towards the middle of it and, like, head back towards the dock. And you know it's not going to happen. I'm like, 4, 3, I'm counting down. And these guys start walking. I'm like, guys, I got this. And, like, they're full of panic out there. And I'm just, and I dive into
Tuesday, fellas. I'm used to this.
And sure enough, my mother's side of the swan finally levels off with the water, and over she goes. And my daughter comes flying out, and my mom. And luckily enough, this lake is only about 2 feet deep. Now, had I known that, I probably would not have done a face first dive into the lake to act like Chuck Norris, the hero. So I've already taken off my shirt, my shoes, my hat. I'm diving into the water to look like I'm trying to Seagal it off a boat and look amazing.
If you took your shirt off, it would be Seagaling into the water.
Fucking plant into this muddy fucking swamp water that's only 2 feet deep. And then I get up and I just start walking.
Oh my God.
And
First of
I
all-
go, and I'm so pissed off at my mom. I'm like, everything in the back of my mind is like, she dragged us here. This is the fucking worst day of my life. I fucking hate you right now. And her purse is caught on one of the wings. She's trying to get up. She's having a struggle. My daughter's like standing, and she's just she's a little upset. She's checking things out. I grab her. I pick her up. I bring her to shore.
Walk away.
And I walked away. And then I was coming back.
Part is because you're at Santa's Village. It's just like, oh, the weather outside is frightful, and the fun, and just David.
That's exactly what it is. You can imagine with a swan almost in a 45-degree perfect. David.
That being said, Tilted Swan is a pretty awesome rock band name.
And so I get to the shore with my daughter in my hands. After doing a really embarrassing drive, trying to be a good dad, still like, yeah, I gotta own this.
Yeah,
but then
somebody
my wife's
search
standing.
YouTube because for sure that's on there.
Yeah, I did the next day. It wasn't on there yet, but I'm pretty sure it was.
Search
Anyway,
a gross family falls in Swan Lake.
I tried to. My wife is standing at the edge of the water. She's just like, just the sadness and knowing what the rest of her day looks like, and having just the silence of me for the rest of the day. She's already.
So it's just like regular Christmas then.
And finally, I do turn back towards my mom, and my mom's a very strong-willed. She's like, somebody's got to do something about that swan. And like she just goes off on something while I'm trying to drag her out. Like she's lost her phone, she's lost her purse. I make my way back out, and I'm just like,
I didn't want to see you dragging your mom.
I would like to.
I'm gonna sue.
It's exactly what she did. She was screaming it to the customer service rep. I had to step in. I had to try. I was so mad, but I had to try to step in and be like, you know what?
Still doesn't have a shirt on.
your
Just
mom is
coated
gonna-
in dry mud.
She's gonna own those reindeer.
They'll happily give it to her.
I remember my brother went to zoo camp.
Sorry?
They dropped. Yeah, we used to drop him off at zoo camp. And he got to go and like feed the animals and stuff. And one day he came back and tried to like say that it was like they gave him like it was called bat jello.
Oh my God.
I think it was just regular jello.
Oh,
And
okay.
he probably stole it. He was a bit of a chunker. And he probably
I was gonna say, like, what is bad jello?
I don't think they give
And
away.
some of the zookeepers like, this is what I call bad jello.
no, I was so
It's what that
jealous
guy was
he got-
making in Keith's haunted house.
Guy Jello.
Bad jello.
Gross.
Yeah, I
as
was
hell.
jealous that he got to go to zoo
Also a
camp.
good
as
band.
Yeah, that
name.
sounds amazing. Yeah, Bad
remember-
Jello's a good name.
I remember Mr. Dress Up used to live near the zoo. Do you guys remember that? Ernie Coombs?
I didn't know where he
Canadian
lived,
TV
no.
show.
Remember Breakfast with Mr. Dress Up? Do you guys not remember Mr. Dress Up fucking your mom? Nobody? Just me? Anyone?
Remember Mr. Dress Up coming over and like hanging out in your room for a bit? No.
No, you didn't just hand Casey and Finnegan to you and say, play with these for a little bit, kid?
You remember being locked in the tickle trunk?
That's crazy, though. Yeah, I've never even heard of the zoo camp kid. That's fuck, your family had so much. God damn it, man.
I'm sure we all did. Everyone have an experience with a water park sometime?
I remember being on a water slide once as a kid, and we had like passes to go on this water slide. It was I forget where it was.
Ontario Place, maybe?
I've never might have been, and I
remember,
went
yeah.
ahead of my dad, so I'm going down the thing, and I don't weigh very much as a kid. I'm very, very tiny.
Sure.
So and so I start to slow down towards the end, and all of a sudden I feel this hulking on my back, just and so like I remember hitting the water. I think as like I was tumbling fucking ass over end or whatever, and then the hulking came down and smashed me onto the bottom of the pool. I was out cold. I was out cold. Somebody had to come and get me out of the pool.
How old were you?
It was my dad. My dad came down after me and hit me. And then I think he was the one who got me up. I'm not.
I would
entirely
hope
sure.
so. If he gets out of the water like wringing the ear out, like, oh, I got some water in my ear. Meanwhile, Bobby's just a pretzel in the bottom of the pool.
He's like Dave's dad who's addicted. Bobby's dad's addicted to water slides.
Exactly.
Just hammers through Bob, grabs his mat. Last one up, Bobby. Dead man float, little kid in the water.
Man,
He's already running up the stairs.
Good effort.
We had Waterworld out by where, like, by Yonville, with Sega Beach.
I remember that. Yeah, I didn't go, but I remember it.
Waterworld had 4 slides, and it had a tidal wave park, and it had
Shit, I did
bumper
go
boats.
there once. Yeah. Bumper boats were awesome.
Oh, yeah,
Now,
yeah.
I would also like to say that whoever put the, I'm not sure if they did it year to year. I know they left them up, but I'm pretty sure they did maintenance on it every year, and they probably got some. I'm gonna guess high school students that were doing shop class to go and like weld the slides back together, because you would lie down on those water slides, and it would literally be like you were sliding down a wet cheese grater for like a good 30 seconds.
It was not a clean weld.
Well, the worst part is you can't stop.
No.
So you feel it the first time. You're like, oh my God, this is going to be fucking awesome. You even give yourself that little extra and that little push. And then you feel that zick, 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 and you're just like, oh my God, stop. And you can't. You just got to ride it out until your fat dad runs you over at the end.
You're bloodied back and you're unconscious.
Exactly. And then you go up again because you're a fucking idiot. I remember speaking of the bumper boats at Ontario Place, I remember my brother, I was, just trying to drive. I couldn't really get a handle on it, like just spinning around or whatever. And my brother just smashed me. Mm-hmm. He got it right away, and I was fucking angry as hell. So we're spinning around, and then he just starts like, he's trying to rub it into. He's just like, woo, doing little donuts. And so I just reached out and I grabbed the back and I yanked his gas line off.
What is this, the Running Man? Jesus Christ!
You can see
then
the
you
poor
flip the Zippo at him.
The poor girl is like, okay, everybody stop. Everybody's like, because it's not like bumper cars where you shut off the electricity.
Right.
It's true.
It's on a boat-to-boat basis.
Yeah, it's like, you could just fucking go into Lake Ontario if you really wanted to go. And so then I'm just backing up and I'm just driving him. He's like, stop! And I'm just fucking slamming into him. Gas is going everywhere. This poor 14-year-old girl's trying to stop us.
And you're like holding up a lighter while you're doing it. Like,
my dad's laughing.
Yeah, exactly.
Look
what
at him
about
go.
I know you're a chubby kid. No, you weren't a chubby kid.
I was skinny. Yeah.
So one of the great experiences I had, I went and visited a friend in Toronto, and it must have been, I don't know if it was Ontario Place, it was someplace out in the burbs. I couldn't tell you where it was, but they had a lazy river. And you're not, like, when you're left to your own devices, we literally got dropped off. We were 10 years old, and we got dropped off for the day. His parents went home, and they like got drank, and then they fucked, and like they did a bunch of stuff. We were left to our own devices. We got $20 to go play like Ninja Gaiden and
then dropped off at the Leaside Aqueduct.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so I loved the lazy river because it fit exactly the type of person.
Yeah.
Like you're going down rides, you're talking to people. What they don't tell you is if you're not wearing the proper amount of sunscreen and you stay on the lazy river all day,
holy shit, yeah,
you turn into just a little roasted piggy. And I've actually still have like marks on my back from hanging out in the lazy river that day back in 1990. I don't know. I'm trying to think about where I want the memories I want to make for my kids when it comes to theme parks. And yeah, no, I'm probably going to be a carny addict. I'm probably going to try to win them the biggest stuffed animal and spend their college education doing it. But I remember it was really interesting because it was the only time I actually saw my dad engaged with life. do you know what I mean?
Whereas, I hope your great grandpa used to also. Yeah, exactly. Or maybe was your grandpa a carny? Maybe this was your dad's way of connecting with him.
Maybe, I don't know, but I do know that the focus in his eyes at ring toss were more like I wanted to be the bottle. That's why you keep looking the other way and aiming for something a little thinner and a little bit big.
Your brother.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well,
how many fucking tickets do I need for a better son? Jesus Christ.
What else? How do we end the fucking theme park one? What do we do here? What's left?
I could get into a corner and start jerking off. Turn off all the lights. If you guys want.
Take care, everybody.
This is a story about a guy named Noah. Got to go build me a boat, and you take two animals of every kind. Make it a boy and a girl, it'll be just fine. So Noah did this, and he did not complain, even though he had to do it in the pouring rain. Problem came around when Noah ran out of room. Did the only thing that he could do. He said, I know, but the rhino with the horse, I mean, it's not like they could have intercourse. When the lights got low and the sea got rocky, the rhino man and the horse like he was a jockey playing God for the unicorn, playing God for the unicorn, playing God for the unicorn. It wasn't Noah's fault. So God story and it's not that bad. If this is rainbow and its shit is plaid, God just give you meaning cause I need to think. Got half a mind to make this whole thing stink. Next thing you try to see the beaver fuck the duck. That's when no one knew that he was out of luck. Cause when God turned around, he got a sour buzz. He saw the motherfucking dark bill blood